these players are not appreciating the fact that it is celebrated. They've heightened their level of sensitivity to the point where, you know what, they'll have an attitude if you got bad breath. It's really that bad. It's pathetic. And, you know, when you look at this show, when you look at the morning shows, when you look at NBA Today, when you look at Inside the NBA, when you look at a plethora of other shows at various other networks, there's a lot of time spent celebrating players and celebrating the game. Last time I checked, you're celebrating it by talking about it. If I sat up there and I said Magic Johnson got the better of Isaiah Thomas today, Isaiah got him back next week, how is that not celebrating the game? You're talking about great players. You're talking about a great game that has magnetized the world. This is a global, iconic brand. How the hell did it get there? You had something to do with that, LeBron James. A whole bunch of players had something to do with that. But the people who talk about it and promote it and push it and illustrate it to the masses to make sure everybody knows about this product that we all find to be wonderful, that has made better lives for all of us up here and beyond, there's a level of appreciation. The level of appreciation that's somewhat been in question is that of the players. And I love how a player, the superstar that he is, pointed to everybody but them. Who didn't play in the All-Star Weekend? Who hasn't participated in the slam dunk contest? Who started out this season, you know, with everybody celebrating him and his son playing basketball together? All of that gets forgotten, huh? It's BS. It really, really is. I could say more. We don't have the time, and I'm not on the appropriate airwaves to say it how I want to say it. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, so, guys, I wanted to play that clip first to get everything started, but LeBron James has responded to Stephen A. Smith and those pregame comments on NBA Countdown. That's what he said via X. He said, exactly, made my point. But anyways, happy this convo has started. It ain't about face of the game, and it ain't about one person or one show. It's about the culture of basketball, the most beautiful game in the world. Our game has never been better. Incredible young stars from all over the world and some older ones. Steph Curry should be all we are talking about today. Let's discuss how great OKC and the Cavs have been this season with two completely different styles and break down why and how they have. Of course, if players don't perform, we need to discuss that too and break that down. Even that can be discussed in a way that's not to bring finality to that player's game, but to leave room to see how that player responds, and let's watch the journey of that player. This ain't about me either. At this point, I don't really care what's said about me. It's always something. This is about the impact the negativity is having on our beautiful game and our fans. I know I speak for a lot of players and, more importantly, a hell of a lot of fans that truly love and celebrate this sport around the world. Mind the game, so he plugged his podcast right there. And let me say this. I don't believe this is not about LeBron James. You know, I believe this is about Stephen A. Smith constantly bringing him up about not participating in All-Star Weekend dunk contest, also the decision and his flame out against the Mavs in the playoffs. And I think he's using this moment to say how he really feel and painting it with a broader brush. Now, can it be discussed in a way? I think, yes, sometimes the ways that Stephen A. Smith has discussed LeBron James or other players has minimized them. You know, you look at Tiago Splitters and I ain't even talking about stars, Darkos and you know, Kwame Brown had a long career, so I can't even compare him to them. But the way Stephen A. Smith has used certain players as a punchline, it kind of has bred this shot. Him and Skip Bayless. I can't just get it all to Stephen A. Smith, but calling pros trash. There used to be something nobody really did. We didn't call Bruce Bowen and those players like that trash, even though they weren't big-time scorers and sometimes they struggled to make shots. We didn't call role players trash, you know, because we knew that this player is playing well on a steady diet of, you know, 3 to 5, maybe 6 to 8 shots if they're lucky that night. But they had to find ways to impact the game in other ways. And maybe that's some of what LeBron James is speaking to. And, of course, LeBron, you've been the face of the game. There's going to be a lot said about you, especially when you have brought some things to social media saying Bronny is better than players that was already in the league. And we saw him get there and that not be the case. and then you're like, why are people hating on the kid? Because the biggest star in the game of basketball, most recognizable basketball player in the world, went on social media and said that and disrespected the players that was playing already in the NBA. Um, Steph Curry should be all we talking about today. I mean, we should talk about a lot of things, but if you want to watch some real basketball talk, go check out B.J. Armstrong's podcast. There's a lot of guys who really break the game down to where you can really understand it, and it's not about demeaning players. Stephen A. Smith is a journalist, an entertainer, so I don't expect him to break the game down in the same way that if I went on, let's say, oh God, if Quentin Richardson and those guys was breaking down basketball on their podcast, or even Sheed or somebody like that, if Tony Allen's breaking something down, I expect to see a little more from them, nuance wise, than I would expect to see from Stephen A. Smith. Now, I do think Stephen A. Smith has a point. The players have become very sensitive, and they, clap back at everything. You guys make a lot of money, so to say that the guys back in the day didn't have to deal with this level of scrutiny, true enough. They also didn't make this money y'all making. The money that several players are making now used to have all kinds of endorsements and everything to hope to get 1/4 of that by the end of your career. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the top of the top stars. So just remember, a player like you probably should have done a dunk contest, should have kept the All Star game more competitive. Kobe made you be competitive because he picked you up full court. Those moments need to be an All Star game. Not so much now. You're 40 years of age, but back then I would have loved to seen you take that torch and keep it competitive. And not let games balloon up to 200 points, because I know one thing: the players are going to follow LeBron James' lead, and that speaks a lot, about how they see you. Um, but yeah, man, these guys still going at it. I want to know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, peace.